Okay, so the first thing you're going to need to do before you even start cooking anything, just ever, is you're going to need to put some music on. I've elected to play some Frank Sinatra. We're going to be playing his album Nothing But the Best, but I've put it on quiet so you can hear me and learn how to make salsa. So the ingredients you'll need are a can of Rotel, a tablespoon of cilantro, 1/4 cup of onion, 1 tablespoon white cooking wine, garlic salt, and sugar. You'll also need a bowl or a container, a handheld blender, a knife, and a cutting board. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to drain the Rotel. I've got it here. Okay, I had to go get the Rotel and the can opener. So before we drain it, which is our first step, we're going to open the can with this can opener. And I'm not really sure how to open a can, so I hope this works. And it did. So to drain it, we're going to take the lid kind of like this and pour it to get all the liquid out. And you don't need 100% of the liquid to be poured out, but you just don't need as much as they give you. And the sink's right here, so I just drained that. And now it looks like that. Okay, so our next step is to put all the ingredients in a container. So I have my container here. I'll start with the Rotel since I just drained that. Okay. And then we have a tablespoon of cilantro that we need to put in. And to do that, you need to wash it first, which I've done. I've got my bag of cilantro here. And so I don't actually measure it out when I do it. I just kind of do this. And I don't want the little sticks, I just want the, okay. So I have these fancy scissor things that I use to cut the cilantro. You don't need the fancy scissor things. You can just use a knife. But so if you see this, it has like, it just chops them all up for you, which is nice. Okay. So I have those chopped, and now I can put them in with my Rotel, or I'll just okay. So that's our second ingredient. Our third is a 1/4 cup of onion. So I need to cut the onion up first, and okay, so here's my cutting board and my knife. Wow, didn't know onions were this hard to cut. Be careful when you cut your onions so you don't cut your fingers off. And we need a 1/4 of a cup. And so this looks like, again, I'm not going to exactly measure this because it doesn't really matter all that much if you're exact or not. Then I don't want this papery skin on the outside, so I'm going to take it off. I would recommend you do that. Okay, so I'm going to chop the onion before we put it in our salsa. and onions just getting everywhere right now. So just try not to do that. Try not to make as much of a mess as I'm making. But, and it's kind of burning my eyes right now. Didn't think about that before I decided to make salsa for this video. Hope I don't start crying. Oh no. My eyes are burning. Okay. So I'm gonna take my chopped onion now that my eyes are just burning so bad. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm back. I had to take a break because my eyes were burning. But basically, I cut up the onion about that small. And so now I'm going to put it into the salsa container. Okay. So again, try not to make as big of a mess as I did. This is just a total mess. Okay. Our next thing to put in here is a tablespoon of white cooking wine. Okay, so for the white cooking wine, we need a tablespoon of that. So we measure that out. Okay. Alright. And then our next thing is a little bit of garlic salt. And you don't have to measure this out because you just put a little bit in, like, I don't know if you can see this. I'll just, oh, that might have been just way too much. But, so you just put a little bit in there. And then the last thing is a teaspoon of sugar. So I have this sugar. Don't put powdered sugar in. You want granulated sugar. You also don't want brown sugar. That'd be gross. So for a teaspoon, I'm just gonna okay. So here's my teaspoon of sugar. I'm gonna put that right in there. Okay. And now what we need to do is we take my handheld blender here. I'm gonna plug this guy in. Okay, so I plugged him in. Okay, so you're going to blend it on low for about 20 seconds. Oh. Okay, so the way I'm doing this is I just hold down the button and I kind of push it down for it to blend. I might have done that for a little too long, but I guess it was alright. I'm going to do it for a little bit longer. Okay. So now I think that looks good. It's a little bit bubbly on the top now. I don't know if you can see that. But it looks like salsa does. So that's it. Now you can put it on like a taco, or you can use tortilla chips. You can eat it like that. I usually just eat it with tortilla chips. But, so I hope you enjoy.